Today we can do January 2023 paper. Let's start with question 1. It's a functions question. Okay, f of x is 9 minus x square, where x is greater than equal to 0. So x cannot fall below 0. Write the range of f. So if you put x is equal to 0, f of 0 will be 9. You put any number greater than 0, this f of x is going to decrease. Okay, so that means f of x is less than equal to 9. For any value of x greater than 0, the value of f of x or the range is going to be below 9. For the b part, it's a composite function question. It's not that hard. Let's do it. First, you need to do the inside operation. Inside step first, g of 1.5. Okay, just put 1.5 in the g function. 3 over 2 into 1.5 plus 4. 3 over 2 into 1.5 plus, sorry, not 4, 1, which is 3 over 4. So 3 over 4 now you need to put in the f function, because now f will take the value of g of 1.5. So 9 minus 3 over 4 whole square. F of 3 over 4, 9 minus 3 over 4 whole square. 9 minus 3 over 4 whole square. Let's use calculator. 135 over 16. If you look at it in the decimal form, it is 8.43, which agrees with our range. F of x has to be less than equal to 9. Okay, this we will consider as the answer. Okay, C part, we need to find G inverse. That is also straightforward. Let G inverse is equal to y and then make x the subject. So y is equal to 3 over 2x plus 1. Cross multiply. 3 is equal to 2xy plus 1. Make x the subject. X is equal to 2xy plus y. Sorry, this is y. So x is equal to 3 minus y divided by 2y. Okay. Once you have x as the subject, you can write it in the function form. G inverse is equal to 3 minus x over 2x. But there is one thing we need to add. What about the domain of this function? You need to give the domain of G inverse also. Just like you can see these two functions, always the domain is written. Okay. So the domain of G of x is x greater than 0. We know that the range of G of x is the domain of G inverse of x. There is a relation between them always. A function as it and its inverse. Range of G of x is equal to domain of G inverse of x, because they are reflections of each other, they are opposite of each other. So let's find the range of G of x. As long as you put smallest value of x is 0, what is G of 0? G of 0 is 3 over 1, which is 3. Now, as long as x keeps on increasing, this fraction will keep on decreasing. Okay, the denominator will keep on increasing and the fraction will keep on decreasing, but it will never reach the value of 0. For example, you put x is equal to 100 here. What is G of 100? 3 over 200 plus 1. It's it's very small number, okay, but it's not equal to 0. So we will say the range of g of x is uh, less than equal to 3 but greater than 0. It will never reach 0. Range of g of x is the domain of g inverse. Okay, you just need to put here where x is less than equal to 3 but it will never reach 0. Okay, so this is, you need to remember this method, okay, as always. So that's it for the question number 1. Moving on to question 2, it's from trigonometry and transformation. So we need to convert this form into this double angle form, combined angle form, okay. Always start with this r cosine of x minus alpha, okay. From the double angle formula, if you want, I can show you there. Where are our double angle formulas? This one, okay. What do we have here? Cosine of a minus b, okay. Cosine of a minus b is cosine a cosine b plus sine a sine b, okay. We will use this one. This is equal to r cosine x cosine alpha plus, because it's minus, the sign changes here, plus r sine x sine alpha. Once you open this, you need to compare these two form. This is f of x and this is the expanded double form, okay. Maybe we write it in front of each other, okay. R cosine x cosine alpha plus r sine x sine alpha is equal to cos of x plus 2 sine x. They are supposed to be the same thing. You just need to compare the coefficients here like we do before. This cosine x and this cosine x. What's the coefficient of cosine x here? 1. So that means 1 is equal to, what's the coefficient of cosine x here? R cosine of alpha. Okay. And similarly, what's the coefficient of sine x here and here? Here it is 2. So 2 is equal to, here it is r sine of alpha. Okay. Now from here, we need to find the values of r and alpha. So make it, for example, you can call this equation number 2. You can call this equation number 1. So if first time we are dividing equation number 2 with 1, okay, that means r sine alpha over r cosine alpha is equal to 2 over 1 2. That means tangent of alpha is equal to 2. So alpha is equal to, angle we have now, 1.107. This is up to 3 decimal place. They said find the angle alpha in 3 decimal place in radian. So make sure your calculator is in radian. Okay. Now let's move to the r. How to find r? We know the identity. We know that identity, uh, sine square x plus cosine square x is equal to 1. So we will use that to eliminate alpha here. What you can do, you can take equation number 1 square plus equation number 2 square and this will be equal to always 1. So what is equation number 1 square? Take the square on both sides. R square cosine square alpha, okay, and add it to this side, R square sine square alpha, okay. Okay, you're not basically, this sum is not equal to 1. Just the cosine square of one angle and sine square of one angle is equal to 1. We're just adding the two equations, adding this side to the this side, right side to the right side, and left side to the right side, left side. Okay. So 1 square is 1 and 2 square is 4. Okay. Now we will use this identity, sine square x plus cosine square x is equal to 1. What you can do, you can take r square common. So r square, I'm doing this little, I'm elaborating every step, but once you have the practice, once you know the concept, you can do it faster and in smaller steps. Okay. So this is equal to 5, and we know that sine square alpha plus cosine square alpha from here is 1. So r square is equal to 5, r is equal to root 5. So that's it for the first part. A part, we can just write now r cosine of x minus alpha as r is root 5 cosine of x minus 1.107. We changed the form. Okay. Moving to part B, using your answer to part A, write down the exact maximum value of g of x. G of x is a transform function of f of x. So a little tricky point, but important one. Okay, let's start this one. Writing the g of x function first, 3 minus 7 f of 2x. Okay, now what is the, for the cosine function, f of x, you know, it's just written on the top. F of x is basically a cosine function, derived function of cosine. We know that cosine, if it's just a simple cosine function, the maximum value is plus 1 and the minimum value is minus 1, right? But since it is root 5 cosine of x, so maximum value is plus root 5 and minimum value is minus root 5. Okay. One, when you subtract something from angle, this is just left or right transformation. Okay, this is horizontal translation. Subtracting something from the angle moves the curve to the right or left. So it is not, 1.107 is not going to affect the minimum or maximum value. Okay, so I'm going to do it in a little detail so that we understand it fully. F of x, we have established here, it's going to be between root 5 and minus root 5. This is the range of f of x or f of 2x. It doesn't matter because even 2x is just going to, what is it? Horizontal stretch. It is not going to change the maximum or minimum value if you multiply with the angle. Okay, if you multiply the whole function, that is going to change, but not this if you multiply anything with the angle. So f of x, f of 2 of x have the same range between root 5 to minus 5. Next, step by step. Now, let's multiply this with minus 7 f of 2x. So now, these are ranges are going to be switched. Now, minus 7 f of 2x means it is less than equal to 7 root 5 and greater than equal to minus 7 root 5. Because this is vertical stretch, minus 7 has been multiplied with the minimum and maximum values. Last step, this 3 has been added to the minimum and maximum value. So let's add plus 3 on both sides. Okay. When you add plus 3, you can add 3 here, you can add 3 here. So this is the maximum value of the g of x. Now this whole function is looking like g of x. So this is the maximum value and this is the minimum value. What do they want? Minimum or maximum? They said maximum value of g of x. So maximum value of g of x is 7 root 5 plus 3. Or you can say 3 plus 7 root 5. Okay. One more part we have here. Find the smallest positive value of x for which this maximum value occurs correct to two decimal place. So we need to now solve for x. Basically, this is given already now. We need to find the, sorry, this is given already and we need to find this x actually. So in other words, 3 plus, this is part 2, B part 2, 3 plus 7 root of 5 equal to the function 3 minus 7 f of 2x. We need to do some steps, solve for x here. Okay. First, will this 3 will move to this side, which will cancel. Okay. And so we have 7 root 5 is equal to minus 7. What is f of 2x? If f of x is root 5 cosine of x minus 1.107, f of 2x is simply root 5 cosine of 2x minus 1.107. If you multiply the angle x with 2, it's only going to multiply with the angle inside. Nothing else changes. Okay. So that means we can write minus 7 f of 2x as cosine of 2x minus 1.107. This step is not that hard. It's just that you need to do some manipulation here, make x the subject. So this 7 will cancel with this minus 7. Okay, sorry, there is a root 5 also here. Multiply by f of 2x is also has the root 5. So this everything cancelled. You just have cosine of 2x minus 1.107 is equal to minus 1. All right. Cosine function has a minus 1 value at x is equal to pi, right? The function has at x is equal to pi, we are going to do cosine inverse of minus 1. Okay, that is going to be equal to pi because cosine of pi is minus 1. So you can use the calculator there also to double confirm. That means cosine of 1.2x 2x minus 1.107 is just pi. All right, so solve for x here. X is pi plus 1.107 divided by 2, which is 2.12. Okay. If you would like me to just elaborate this step here, how we get pi, you can look at any cosine graph. Okay, this is the positive one value and this is the negative one value. This happens at pi. We know that very well. So that's why when you take cosine inverse of minus 1, you get pi. Okay, so x is equal to 2.12. That's the value at which the maximum we get this maximum number. All right.